Welcome, night crawlers. I am your host, Ripper, and this is our first annual Burt Gummer Day Tremors-a-thon, with 7 movies and 1 TV series in the franchise. I may or may not get to the TV series only because YouTube is a stickler about TV shows. Hope you enjoy the video. Tremors is a 1990 horror comedy, directed by Ron Underwood, starring Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and Michael Gross. We open with Val and Earl, who are handymen down on their luck, looking to leave Perfection, Nevada for Bixby. I did that once to my father. Almost gave him a heart attack. But he definitely gave me an ass kicking. On the way into town, they come across Rhonda LeBeck, played by Finn Carter, a college student studying seismology. Excuse me, ma'am, but did you know you got bird shit on your nose? When they get into town, they stop at Chang's Market, where they meet up with Walter Chang, Burt and Heather Gummer, played by Victor Wong, Michael Gross, and Reba McEntire in her big screen debut. Watch out for the dreaded gravel slide. That's a weird time capsule. Excuse me, Mr. Underwood, your camera is... Okay, there you go. While in town, Val and Earl are doing odd jobs for money to leave Perfection. On the only road out of town, they come upon Edgar Deems, atop electrical tower, losing an all too reoccurring theme of the classic rock, paper, scissors game. Val climbs the tower to find Edgar with a rifle and dead. They take Edgar to the town doctor, Jim Wallace, who tells them that Edgar died from dehydration. Then we cut to old Fred, who's a farmer, tilling his field with a hoe. Gets eaten along with his flock of sheep. Meanwhile, Rhonda's seismographs go crazy. Going back into town, Val and Earl drives by Fred's farm, slams on the brakes after seeing the mutilated bodies of the sheep and finding the head of Fred in the ground. On the road again, they drive upon the road crew they passed earlier, stops and warns them of the impending doom. After leaving, one of the guys, not believing Earl, goes back to work, nails something in the ground with a jackhammer, and gets dragged underground while the other guy gets covered in rocks. That should be a ride at Walt Disney World. Side note, jealous of the mustache. After Val finding out the payphone at Chang's is out of order, Val and Earl decide to drive to Bixby for the police, only to find the road crew dead and the road blocked. Getting back in the truck, putting it into reverse, they get hung up upon something. Finally breaking loose and making it back into town, they find out what had a hold of the truck. It's a craboid. Later on that night, at the Doc's place, the Doc and his wife are talking, and they notice the generator isn't working. Mostly because it's missing. It's so bright of a night, how can't you see that it's gone? Then something pulls the Doc down into the ground. Doc's wife runs and hides in the car. Then the car gets sucked into the ground as well. Who uses a straw in a bottle? For when you want to restrict your flow of fluids, use a straw. Back at Chang's, Val and Earl gets picked to go horseback riding to Bixby for help. They arrive at the Doc's place only to find it abandoned and the Ford buried. While out riding, the horses start bucking and jumping. Then a worm attacks, killing a horse and chasing Val and Earl. You can totally see the wire pulling down the horse when it kills itself by hitting a concrete-lined drainage ditch. Then Rhonda comes along. I'm just going to say,
probably the biggest zoological
this is going to be the biggest movie you're ever going to do. All of them help dig out the worm's body. After discovering that there was 3 more worms left alive, they head to Rhonda's truck.
What?
Damn prairie dog burrow.
Little sons of bitches.
To get back into town, but on the way there they had to take refuge on a giant rock to keep from being eaten. The next morning, after waking up, they realized that the worm was waiting there the whole time. Hey, I'm sleeping here. They decided to pole vault from boulder to boulder to get to the truck. When getting to the truck, they had to fight off the worm to get to town. Excuse me, ma'am, but do you have a moment to talk about our Lord Jesus Christ? Back at Chang's, they're telling a story to the group. Yeah, we know that it's unprecedented, and you have no idea or facts about it, but do you know where it comes from? Jeez. While deciding a plan on what to do, Walter names them graboids. Fallen Waldo. All of a sudden, a graboid shows up in town and creates havoc, attacking the general store, chasing townfolk.
Quiet!
Yeah, shut the fuck up. How do you expect to get her attention if she's pogoing away from you and you're not yelling? Mindy gets attacked while on her pogo stick. Rhonda gets tangled up in barbed wire fencing. Val slams a pickaxe in the head of the graboid and manages to save both Mindy and Rhonda. Way to charm the pants right off her. Back inside Chang's, Val bandages up Rhonda, then the pop cooler turns on, alerting the graboids. Well, if you got off and helped, it would be a lot easier. One busts through the floor and eats Walter before disappearing underground again. Eating Walter is just going to make you hungry 20 minutes from now. Then another one starts tearing up the store, knocking Rhonda outside. She climbs the water tower. Everybody climbs on top of the buildings in town. Bert and Heather arrive home after doing a patrol. Love the license plate. Val calls Bert on the CB radio, alerting them of a graboid coming their direction.
Bert, get out of your basement.
How did Val know Bert was in his basement? Plus, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure CBs won't be working down there. Val said underground. What makes you think you could look out your window and see them? And who keeps a flare gun in their armory? Bert and Heather ends up killing the graboid after unloading a shit ton of rounds into it. Bert calls back on the radio, telling Val, Earl, and Miguel that they killed it. Bert and Heather moved to their roof. They tried to shoot the other one through the ground, to no avail. The graboids try to study the building for weak points. Nestor gets knocked off his trailer and gets eaten. And that look says, why not Melvin? Back at the Gummers, the graboid disables their SUV. Val and Earl come up with a plan to use the cat and a trailer to roll on out of there. But they need a decoy, so they use a riding tractor to lure the graboids away. With Val halfway to the cat, the riding lawnmower tips over, and then the graboid finds Val. You can totally see the wire pulling the riding tractor over. Yeah, do the graboid stomp. It should be a dance. Rhonda breaks a water pipe on a tower, spilling water onto the ground, bringing the graboid to her. Val, making it to the cat, starts moving through the town and finally makes it to the Gummers, where Bert and Heather are making bombs. They pick up Bert and Heather and haul ass. On the way to their destination, the graboids lay a trap in the roadway. Bert lights a bomb, scattering the graboids. Bert hands Melvin a gun to man him up. Ooh, shiny! And she trips on loose sand. Just think, 3 years from now, she's going to be outrunning raptors. They run to a residual boulder where they're being circled by the graboids. While coming up with a plan about a final stand, Bert and Val start fighting. They decide to go fishing. They tie a rope around a bomb and light it, killing one of the graboids. With only one left, they try it on Stumpy. Stumpy's too smart and spits it out, landing in the bag of bombs, igniting the rest of them, scattering the group. Val, Earl, and Rhonda land on the ground. Being trapped by Stumpy, Val comes up with a plan and starts running with the last bomb. Earl starts running with Val, but neither of them having the lighter. Rhonda starts running too, making it to the cliff from the beginning of the movie. Lights the bomb and throws it behind Stumpy. forcing him off the cliff.
Can you fly, you sucker?
Better than a frozen turkey.
Bert loaned me his camera.
I thought Bert would have been a Canon guy. Get it? Canon? You know? Kaboom? Ha! Ha ha! Making it back into town, saying their last goodbyes. Val finally kisses Rhonda. And now I will perform the last rites for Tremors. Well, growing up in the early 80s, only being 10 years old and finding this movie on TV, CBS mostly, really enjoyed it. Fell in love with it. Plus, I love the 1950s creature feature kind of stuff. You can tell a good story without having to swear a lot or show gratuitous nudity or gore. So I really like that aspect of it. Plus, my daughter loves watching it, and we watch it quite a bit every so often. So, I highly recommend this movie. It's one of my top tier series in my collection. If you got this far and you like what you saw, then you're fucking sick. And thank you. Please subscribe, like, and ring the bell. Ripper out.